All right, so let's talk about ARV. What is ARV? You might have stumbled. Well, if you stumble into this video, there's a good chance you know what the ARV is. It's basically a piece of number that will allow you to make very smart offers every time. You know, there's some people that get into the game of wholesale real estate and they basically lose every single time. I want you to win every single time. If you know what you're doing, then you will win every single time, even if a lead is not exactly a deal. So don't get me wrong. There's data, there's leads, sorry, there's data, there's contact leads, contracts, and closed deals, right? Through each one of those stages, the numbers, the more data is going to become less qualified and less qualified and less qualified until you close deals. Okay. So it's like a funnel that closes until you close a deal, right? So I want you to be able to confidently calculate ARVs. It basically means after repair value and avoid overpaying for property. One of the major concerns for many people is what if I made the wrong offer? Well, initially when you're getting started, it's possible that you can make the wrong offer. There's always room to renegotiate. Remember, these are motivated sellers you're dealing with. So they have a distressed property usually. So you can always renegotiate, but we don't want to keep doing that because if you do that enough time, it's really a small world. Your reputation can easily get on the line. So don't get me wrong. I do, even though it's okay to make mistakes in the beginning, but eventually I want you to know what you're doing. And one of the first ways to know what you're doing is to master a number called the after repair value. Precisely, exactly, my friend Scorpion. Right? So after repair value of a property is a very simple concept. Just first of all, think about value. Value is in the eyes of the beholder. What is the market willing to pay for a piece of property right now, today? Well, real time real time, but you want to go back as far back as 6 months. Okay. So another beauty about this whole thing, when I say prop stream, is allow you to be able to see that number. Traditionally, we used to have to go find a realtor who would maybe hopefully give you a password to the MLS. There was no Zillow when I started. I don't know. I wonder when was Zillow founded? Because I kind of like woke up one day and there was Zillow, right? Now today you can easily look on Zillow and maybe look at least have a quick what they call Zestimate. Oh, interestingly, Zillow has existed since 2006. Well, it wasn't as popular as it is in 2025. I'll tell you that much. You know, but yes, so PropStream is a good tool that will help you come up with a good number ARV, the after repair value of the property. What is the property worth if it's completely perfect and is ready to be put on the market for a retail buyer, a person who wants to turn this house? We're dealing with houses, but for the end buyers, they want to turn it into a home. They are buying a home where they're going to lay their head at night, right? So, what is the value of the property at the home stage? That's what we're talking about. Okay. That value, like even though most of the property you're going to deal with will need some work or major work, right? Some medium or major work, right? So, we're talking about when it needs no more work and is ready and is perfectly sparkling clean. What is the value of that property today? So location, 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 right? Real estate is all about location. You and I know that, right? So you can take a piece of perfect property and uproot it away from the middle of nowhere in Mexico and bring it to the suburbs of the most beautiful part of Atlanta, or maybe most beautiful part of what do you call it, Houston, right? What's the nicest neighborhood in Houston, right? Yeah, those Sugarland, it's not going to have the same value because it's about the location when it comes to real estate, right? So if you're losing deals, if you feel like you've been trying to do this business and you've been losing deals, you're not losing deals because of bad deals. You're probably losing deals because your ARV that number is off. You don't know how to find the proper ARV. Okay. So it's the foundation of everything of your offer. You need that number to be right. So you need, remember, you need comparables. Comparables to, well, how comparables in the location. That location, I already said location, right? But you need properties that compare to that same, to what is the end outcome for you as an investor, because you are an investor as a wholesaler, right? You have to think like an investor. What's the end product, right? What is the vision of that product? What's the finished product, right? That the comparables, you need similar properties that compare to that in similar condition, right? And because we're thinking ahead of the game now, we have to adjust it backwards, right? So we call that the adjustment. So what is the estimated cost of repair? What is it going to cost to bring that land, piece of property, real estate, bring it up to speed where it is now worth that ARV in real time? Like the fair market value, FMV is now equals to ARV. What is it going to cost to bring it up? That's called the estimated cost of repair. So we need comparables, or we need to know what the condition of the property is, and then we need to know what is it going to cost it to bring it from the condition it is to a finished product, right? And the major mistakes that I see most people make is they over speculate on the ARV. I see people all the time, they send emails, they say, oh, this property is worth $1.2 million. And a lot of people, a lot of wholesalers came into the game since I started, and they just throw numbers out there based on the. So you don't want to be, it's not about being super conservative or being super pessimistic. It's not about that. You just want to be as realistic as possible. But like I said, the best tool for me so thus far has been prop stream, because I can basically see everything that's going on in the market. Unfortunately, this week I won't be able to show you because my internet connection, I'm in Rhode Island right now. It's just terrible here, which I will be yeah, I'm gonna have to yeah, I'm gonna have to leave a very nasty review for them. Um yeah, so I would have loved to really give you guys some examples. So if you guys know any other favorite tools out there, if you've been trying to business and some people have been talking about other tools outside of PropStream, feel free to drop it in the comments. I really don't care. That's just the one that I've used for me. I've used PropStream since 2016, 17-ish. It's been a while. Yeah. But the ARV is the number. So from ARV, what do you do with the ARV? ARV multiply that by about 70%. I say about 70% because that number can vary depending on what kind of neighborhood you're dealing with. The number goes a little bit higher for the higher the value of that neighborhood is. If you're dealing with $50,000 neighborhood, the number needs to be at around 55 to 65% of the ARV. I'm talking about what is your maximum allowable offer. How do you calculate the offer that you need to put on a property? Because remember, the more offers you make on a property, the higher the chances you're going to find a deal. Okay, but it's about knowing your numbers. The numbers, the roots, the foundation of everything is the after repair value. If you know how to nail this, you will stop losing deals. Once you know how to nail this, there are investors everywhere looking for your deal. Okay. Also, it's also very there's an advantage to knowing the neighborhood. So for some people, they are virtual wholesalers. Okay, I've had phases of my business where I just operated as a virtual wholesaler, and I've had the phases where I've actually zoned in on a particular location. Okay, you have different strengths and weaknesses depending on what you want to do. Virtual wholesalers are people who basically cast a wide net across the nation, United States, and they look for deals everywhere. With digital marketing, we focus more virtual wholesaling because it's about numbers, it's about data, it's about AI. As far as the way we operate, and we let the artificial intelligence of the social media platforms find where there's traction, and we just zone in. And if there's attraction, if there's interest in our ads, we zone in. There's opportunities, we find the opportunity because it's about numbers. But if you want to do things manually, you want to do direct mailing and stuff like that, your best, or you want to do cold calling, you have a better advantage when you get to know a neighborhood, and that's something else you want to pay attention to. But at the end of the day, uh, this is digital world. Numbers you tell a lot of the stories if you know what you're doing. But again, it comes down to numbers. mastering the ARV, the after repair value. So multiply ARV by about 70%, between 55 and 85%. Close to 85% if you're dealing with $1 million neighborhoods, 55% if you're dealing with $50,000 neighborhood. I say $50,000 because personally I don't deal with properties anything less than $50,000. There's not enough spread for us to make money, if you know what I mean, right? So, but wherever the deal is, we always find a way to make it work. But those are the simple numbers. So you multiply that by that factor, okay, the profit factor, and then you adjust it with the estimated cost of repair, right? Another reason why I don't deal with $50,000 neighborhoods is because imagine if I spend $50,000 to fix a house that's worth $50,000. There's no room to really make anything happen. So it's all about numbers. All right, so if you want to play around with ARV, PropStream also has some fantastic calculators and tools to help you calculate. In fact, they spit out a number to you already, and then you can start drilling in and making. And they have what they call the PropStream Academy to make it easier too. All right, let's move on. Let me see what we got here. So now that you know what the numbers are, how do you get sellers to actually sign that contract? Right? Because like I told you, not every lead is going to turn to deals, right? Some people some people are a little bit awkward, so you can actually lose deals if you don't know what you're doing. So, but how do you get those people to actually sign the contract? Because the contract is what creates the equitable interest, what we call wholesale real estate, right? It's the contract that creates that interest that you can turn to cash. So let's go ahead and talk about that, and I'll be right back. This is Ola at My Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.